What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop, so park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button. Also, if you check the link below, you'll see a Patreon account. You click, you become a member. All you got to do is try to recommend movies and music and trailers for me to react to. Now, with that being said, we are here today with a review for the movie Old. It is an M. Night film. We already know how M. Night can be. He's very hit or miss. I think the last movie that he did that I enjoyed was Split. But I mean, he's known for Signs and The Sixth Sense, among other movies. But let's go ahead and get into this movie. Quick synopsis of the film. The film is basically about this family that's going on a vacation. They've been invited to this particular resort, and they've been treated for some strange reason that they don't even know. And they end up getting dropped off at this beach. They're like, hey, you know what? Like, there's this secret beach over there in the corner. Not too many people know about it, but because I like you, because I think you're really, really cool, I'm going to tell you where it's at. I got a bus that'll take you right there and drop you off. What do you say? Of course, the family's going to say yes. So they go ahead and naively go on the trip. They head to the beach. And then they find out that this beach is a little bit different. For some reason, as you can tell in the trailer, time is going by extremely fast on this beach. So the whole movie is building up to trying to find out how the hell can we get off this island or this beach? How do we get help? And then also there is a slew of other things or obstacles that are in the way. This movie throws so many curveballs at you, and even though there's a part that's kind of hinted at in the trailer that you basically see in the commercial, I feel like they shouldn't have showed that in the commercial where the girl is pregnant. But whatever has been shown, so I'm not spoiling anything. You guys already know this already exists. So there's, like I said, I feel like that maybe should have been covered up. But let's go ahead and go into the cast. Honestly, the whole cast of this movie does a really phenomenal job. I didn't see anybody that really stuck out like a sore thumb and just didn't seem in place. You have Gael Garcia, who's Guy. He's the main actor, the dad in the movie. He's the voice actor for somebody in the movie Coco. Then you have Vicky, the mom, who I think she was in one of the Dragon Tattoo series. You have Alex Wolff, who I know from Hereditary. He's the young boy in the movie, but his grown-up version. And then you just have a freaking huge cast in this movie. They've done numerous things. Hereditary, the Dragon Tattoo series. Two of the people actually here are from the Dragon Tattoo series. One of the young ladies isn't really an actress. She's a musician. She just barely got her foot in the door. Everybody in this movie does a really good job. I don't see anybody really sticking out. The young man that plays that YouTuber in the movie, the only African American dude in the damn movie, so you know who I'm talking about. He's never acted before ever. He's only done stage things, but you can tell by his presence that he's a stage actor. I wasn't really surprised when I heard about that. Also, we have my man from Rush Hour that played Juntao. The dude that played Juntao. He's in this movie, and I honestly didn't recognize it until I was looking at the cast, and I was like, "Yo, that guy's face looks familiar." Now that I really, really look at it, he was Juntao in Rush Hour. So shout out to that man for resurrecting his career. Ended up in an M. Night movie. He does a really good job too. So hats off to him. Let's go ahead and get into the pros and cons of this movie. My cons are a lot shorter, but I'll go ahead and go with the pros first. The movie, the idea of the movie. This is a movie produced, screenplay written and directed by M. Night, right? But on top of that, it is derived from a book. I think it's called Sandcastles or something like that. So there's a book that this movie is based off of. So it's not like this completely original idea that M. Night had. It's based off of some source material. So let's not. That kind of, to me, took a little bit of the wind out of the sails, because I was like, yo, this is such an original idea. This is a really dope idea. But now I found out that he derived it from a book. I'm like, M. Night, okay, whatever, But I digress. It's still a great movie with a great concept. Let's see, how can I do this without trying to spoil it? Like I said, the cast does a really amazing job. The story is really original. I love some movies have this trend that they do, that when they're trying to explain the twist of the movie, it seems forced. This movie, the twist in this movie and the reasoning behind everything makes so much sense. It makes a lot of sense. It isn't one of those movies where you're left scratching your head and you're wondering, like, what did I just watch? I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. Everything in this movie, at the end of the movie, you completely understand what happens. There's no real confusion about it. And it's pretty straightforward. But because I know there's people out there that need a little help, explaining the movie, towards the end of this video, I will leave a brief segment to explain the ending. So you can keep that open if you need it. Um, so one of the, like I said, the pros in the movie, the score was pretty good. It did a good job of amplifying the scene. You had an amazing cast of actors and actresses in this movie. Um, I mean, there was sort of like certain dramas or whatever introduced at the beginning of the film, and I wasn't quite sure where they were going with it. But towards the end of the film, it comes in kind of a full circle, and you kind of realize what's going on. Also, there's a part of the story that kind of has you questioning it. You're like, why did this happen this way? You know that it's done for plot purposes because you can't have you have to do things to amplify the the tension or yeah, basically the tension. You have to do things in order to amplify the story, create obstacles, create dangers, create threats. And this movie does a good job of doing that naturally. Of course, you question it because you're like, who in their right mind would do this in this certain situation? Because it seems kind of like, in my opinion, it seems like it just kind of like overrides itself. You know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. But my biggest gripe with this movie, my biggest gripe with this movie is one thing: the CGI. The CGI in this movie is freaking terrible. You can tell that this cast is in a pool and they have a green screen behind them. I don't like to be able to be like when you're noticing that this green screen and you notice that the CGI is like really like it's there. I want my CGI to be in the background, unapparent, unknowing. Like I like that, I like when it has that. But clearly in many cases in this film, you feel like the background is CGI and you can tell. Another thing too is that we all know that basically the little kids grow up because of what we see in the trailer. My wife brought up a very good point. My wife brought up that these kids are basically growing up instantly. And with when people grow up and people start to develop, you have certain sort of precautionary things. You have sort of insecurities and things like that. And these kids didn't really seem to be very much aware of these things. Like it just seemed like, whoa, yeah, whoa, I have boobs now, cool, So it's kind of weird that these kids are growing up so rapidly and they're so comfortable with the process. When honestly, as a kid, you'd probably be freaking out. You know what I mean? Like no real person. It seemed like the adults were freaking out more than the kids, and that to me seemed kind of awkward. I get it. I mean, you could play with the idea that kids are fearless, but you're not going to be that damn fearless. Like, come on, like, let's keep it a buck here. So, I mean, overall, like I said, the movie's pretty entertaining. Like, you have a great story, you have a tremendous cast, but at the same time, when you leave the movie, like, you feel like it's not one of M. Night's top tier films. Like, it's better than a lot of his films, but I can't say that it's one of his top three. You know what I mean? But like I said, I love the concept. I love the idea. But that CGI was lacking. The cast was really good. And I mean, to try to compact this in a spoiler-free review is very complicated because there's a lot of information and ideas that are introduced in this film. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch into just a spoiler ending explained discussion. So if you have not seen the movie already, I would recommend that you go watch it because it's a very interesting film. It has some very interesting ideas that we are not really presented with often. So I think it's a really cool concept that people should go ahead and watch and discover. I had a really good time with this movie, so it's been spared in that regard. But I'm going to go ahead and give you guys 5 seconds to get the hell out of here. All right, cool. So, if you guys aren't aware about how the ending works, the ending, I'm going to explain it. So, towards the end of the movie, we find out that there is a drug manufacturing company that has stumbled upon this island where time is moving at a very rapid pace. You get what I'm saying? You can literally in a 24-hour span, you can live 60 years of your life. So what these scientists are doing is that they're testing brand new experimental drugs on these people on the island. So these people come to the island. They have certain medical conditions, and what they're doing is they're giving them experimental drugs in order to see basically if the drug works. So instead of waiting years upon years upon years to see if the research works, they're literally doing this within a day. You get what I'm saying? So instead of waiting all this time to find out if these drugs work, they're just basically going there and the people die or whatever, and they observe from a distance, and they basically find out if this drug is working or not. So uh, in the movie, the woman that has epilepsy, they find out that it left her seizureless for about 60 years, which when they said it, and I was just like, oh yeah, that's right. But when they tried to explain it by saying it was an island, I was like, okay, I could buy that, you know. But the fact that when everybody comes to the island, they're given this mysterious cocktail based off of their beverages of choice and the things that they like. They're given those things, and you know, these are basically the medications that they're trying to try on these families, right? They're trying to treat them for different things. The man had a mental disorder. The girl had epilepsy. The other lady had a tumor. You know, I'm not really sure about what the hell the husband had, you know, but it is what it is, you know. Most of the people on the island had some sort of like disorder that they were trying to treat. Now, like I said earlier, uh, I don't know why this company would put their research in danger by placing psychopathic people with mental disorders on the same island, you know, because the man went crazy and started killing people. So that's like, to me, that was just like, what the hell? Like that was kind of crazy, you know? Like I don't. That seems like it basically seems like it's based trying to like erase what you've already been doing. Like imagine this man just went crazy off top and started killing people, and it's like you didn't even get to see if your research or your medical or anything even worked. You just the dude already killed your experiment. You're done. It's over. You know. So that was interesting. Also, the whole so they make doing surgery super easy, dude. Like people were like they cut you open, they hold it, they hurry up and remove the tumor, and then they let it seal up. That was pretty crazy. That shit disgusted the hell out of me. But what I will say this, I was very upset that they kept panning away during the death scenes. Every death scene in this movie, it felt like they panned away. Old girl fell off the cliff, pan away. Baby in a blanket, a lot of people ain't gonna want to see that anyway. But the baby in a blanket, they obviously didn't show that. Uh, when the dude got stabbed the first time off camera, a lot of the deaths happened off camera. I wasn't really a fan of that, and the reason I saved it for the spoiler discussion is because I didn't want to tell people that a lot of the deaths happen off camera. That's kind of it's kind of spoilerish, you know. I didn't like that aspect of the film, but yeah, it was an okay film. It was good. I liked it a lot, but I mean, like I said, it wasn't something that fucking swept me off my feet. That's what I was expecting with this movie, but I know with M Night you can't really say that that's what's going to happen. But overall, like I said, I enjoyed this movie. So let me do it officially now. So here on the Cinema Shop, we grade movies in three ways. Count it three ways. Either you get bodied and sent to the bowels of hell. Either you get spared and ascend to the gates of heaven, and I spare you and all that good shit. Or you get meh, which just means your movie's like whatever, right? You already know I'm going to spare this movie because I already said it earlier. So this movie has been spared.
He ain't earned the death. He ain't earned the death at my hands. God's only man, spared by the butcher.
Yes, you heard it, folks. I am sparing this movie. I had fun watching it. Is it like one of the top 3 M. Night movies? No. It might be something that I might need to rewatch. Maybe if I rewatch it, I'll either appreciate it more or de-appreciate it more. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to hit that like. Don't forget to hit that share. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on the way out. And until next time, you are now exiting the Cinema Chop. I hope you guys are having a magnificent day. Adios, homies.